What's up, faithful? We are finally live, back from the game. A victory, a hell of a game, man. The 49ers just defeated the Seattle Seahawks, swept them, 3 dubs in one season, and we got to talk all about it. Let's get the trailer rolling, and let's talk all about it today, baby. I'm hyped. Yo, what's up? We got that dub. 49ers with the dub today, man. How you feeling? Seattle Seahawks, it was a rainy game, but the Niners took care of business, and it was a great victory, man. Feels good to get a playoff victory. It feels good to beat the Seahawks. 41-23. Second half was amazing. I met a lot of people out there. Shout out to everybody here. What's up, everybody? What's up? How's everybody feeling? Shout out to everybody I met at the game, man. Everybody's so cool, coming up to me, saying what's up, giving me hype. We was, shaking hands, taking pics. So if I saw you at the game, much love to you, man. It's always fun meeting everybody at the game. This was a good game. I know I'm gonna probably have no voice by tomorrow, but man, last minute I said, screw it, we got to make it to the playoffs. We were there. Shout out to the 408 faithful. I pulled up to their tailgate before I went into the game. They took care of business. Gold Bar Whiskey, Residency, man, all of them took care of money, took care of business. So shout out to everybody, man. That took care of your boy today. It was an amazing game. Oh my God. 3 wins against the Seahawks. 41-23. God, man. What a game, man. What a game. Just a nice dub, man. Unbelievable. There's so much we got to talk about. Let's just get it all out there, man. You guys drop your questions, drop your comments. As always, I'll try to get to them as much as I can. I want to share my thoughts and my comments. The 49ers, they came out and it was a hard fought game. We knew Seattle had nothing to lose. They're going to play loose, everything to gain. They came out. You knew they were going to play tough, and that's what they did. Pete Carroll, man, he was showing everything he could. Geno played pretty nice in that first half, and DK Metcalf, they were peppering it throughout the field. They were stretching the field. The Niners couldn't stop Geno for a little bit. They kept it close. The Niners, as they do, they like to field teams out in the first half, and it was the second half adjustments, man. They got Debo cooking, they got CMC cooking, and those guys were kind of getting the ball all over the place, and Ayuk made some big plays, and I think they pissed off Debo, and then also too the team just, I feel like they fed off that energy, and the pass rush started getting involved more. Charles Omenihu had some big plays. Nick Bosa with the big fumble, that was an incredible play. That play right there where Charles Omenihu strip sacks Geno and Bosa picks it up, that was a big momentum shifter. That was one of the big plays that shifted it. And my boy Diamond, we're going to talk about that shortly. But, man, everything came together on this team. They're just too physical. It's like I said all week. You might be able to last with the 49ers for 2 quarters, but you can't last with them for 4 quarters. They're too physical. They're too good. They got too many dogs. They're too conditioned. I bet you Kyle Shanahan got pissed at him at halftime. He probably got a little mad at Jimmy Ward, the big hit on Geno. That was kind of not a smart play, but you know what? Jimmy Ward, he said this a couple of months ago. He goes, hey, if you guys are going to run on a quarterback against Justin Herbert, if you're going to run against on us, if you're a quarterback and you're running, we're going to bring the hammer. I know it's not smart. I know a lot of people criticize him, but that's what Jimmy Ward's going to do. He's going to drop the hammer no matter what. I know it was crazy, but the Niners, they kept the game close. And at the end of the day, it wasn't the worst play in that game, because it was still second half. Seattle, whether they got the field goal or not, it was still going to be, a few points separating both teams. The Niners still had to come out and execute. And that first drive in that second half was amazing. 75 yards, 12 plays. They just pulled the keys out, and that was a back-breaking drive for Seattle. They couldn't stop it. And that's when 49ers came out, and they said, look, we are going to be the bullies. We're going to be flexing our muscles on you. And you know what play I think turned the tide of the game? It was the Debo play where, he gets that big-time play in the second half. And Jonathan Abram, he twists his ankle. He twists his ankle after the play. Debo's looking. You do not piss Debo Samuel. I'm glad I wore the jersey. Last year, first playoff game I went to in Dallas, not my first playoff game ever, but that was the first playoff game the Niners played last year. In Dallas, I wore the Debo jersey. I'm superstitious. The 49ers won that game, and I had to wear the Debo jersey this year. So my boy Debo came through. They pissed him off. Do not piss off Debo Samuel. That's the last person that I would not. That's the last person that I would piss off. Oh my God, he played so physical. You could tell he wanted that touchdown so bad. Oh man, that play was amazing. When Debo scored that touchdown, incredible. And I said all week, I said, I feel like he's going to have one of those big plays, those big reverse type plays. They're going to get him the ball. And I just had a feeling playoff Debo was about to go crazy. They knocked the rust off last week. He got the wheels cooking. And again, that's a guy, he's a playmaker. He's a money type player. He's the big paid offensive weapon. You got to get the ball in his hands. And they did, man. And they fed Debo. They fed CMC, man. And CMC was just all over the place. He owns the Seahawks. The games that the 49ers have played the Seahawks, Christian McCaffrey has cooked them up. He's got over 280 yards total yards of scrimmage against the Seahawks with the Niners. That is crazy. 280 yards of scrimmage against one team. Oh my God, he owns them. Bruce CMC, so many plays were just amazing. He's so good. I love Christian McCaffrey. I still can't believe that we traded for this guy. That was the guy, man. They put the ball in his hands, and every time he got it, he did something good. They throw it to him. They run it. They run the ball with him. And it was crazy because towards the end of the game, I was like, are they going to get Elijah Mitchell going? Are they going to get Jordan Mason? They just kept giving the ball to CMC. He's so conditioned. He's a workhorse, man. I didn't realize just how strong this guy is. In Carolina, they ran him all the time. He's built for that. I didn't know if he was built for that, but man, Christian McCaffrey, this guy is so good. And Ayuk had some big time plays here and there. I know he dropped that touchdown at the end where Brock Purdy scrambled. That was the most amazing incomplete pass I've ever seen. I mean, he scrambled like the crowd was like in awe. Someone commented it when I tweeted it. They said, "Is that the Rembrandt of incomplete passes?" I think it was. It was like a painting. It was like a Picasso painting. I mean, he was scrambling. He ran here. He shook off all the defenders, and he threw it on a dime. And oh man, if Ayuk would have caught that, I mean, the crowd would have went nuts. They were already going nuts for Brock Purdy. After the game, I just saw there was an interview. They asked Ayuk. He goes, "Yeah, I owe him a touch." Because Brock comes up to him. He goes, "I owe you everything, man." And Ayuk says, "Nah, man, I owe you a touchdown." So these two guys, it's a squad full of love, man. They know they're going to make it up. Ayuk's going to come back with a vengeance next week. And I feel that Ayuk's going to make up for that, drop touchdown. But the game was pretty much in hand. The Niners had that game. But, man, it would have been nice. It would have been nice to see that touchdown come to fruition because Brock, man, that was masterful footwork, mobility, just escapability in the pocket. I was shook. I was just shook. Everybody in the stands, we looked at each other. We were like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. This guy's, it's incredible. Brock Purdy, you can't talk enough about him. He goes to his family right after the dub. So wholesome. This kid is amazing. He's 23 years old. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, I want to say this about Brock, man. The first rookie quarterback to throw 4 touchdowns in a game. I got to pull up these stats, man, on Brock Purdy. This guy was cooking today. I mean, just so much he did today. Let me pull up these stats from Brock Purdy because oh man, he played so good. And it was funny because everybody at the beginning of the game, oh, he's not good. He's terrible. I remember some comment on one of my posts. They said, leave him in the locker room. He looks like Nick Mullins. I said, you guys got to chill. This is the second half team. And he did it. Brock Purdy, first rookie quarterback in NFL history with 4 touchdowns in a playoff game. Crazy. There's 49ers quarterbacks with 300 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions in a playoff game. 3 of them. Joe Montana, Steve Young, and now Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy joined Steve Young and Joe Montana in a stat. It's fucking crazy to me. LeBron James tweeted him. That was the great moment. He's like, oh, LeBron tweeted about me? Oh, that's dope. Bro, everybody just knows how good Brock is, and he's cooking, man. Undefeated as a starter. It's just crazy. He does every week something new is added to his story. I can't get enough of this, man. This guy is amazing, man. He's a rookie. Like, he's gonna make mistakes, and that's what I was trying to tell people. Like, he's gonna make mistakes. This was his first playoff game of all time, of ever. He's the last pick of the draft, but man, he calmed down in that second half, and he was hitting players in stride. And he knows what he has to do. He knows he has to get the ball to the playmakers, and that's what he did. Get the ball to CMC, get the ball to Debo, and that's exactly what he did, man. Oh my God. Feeling Froggy says the Niners look like they were in cruise control. Second half, I feel like they definitely did. Amazing. The Slasher Gamer. What's up, Rod? You called the Lenore intercept. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Diamador Lenore. Let's talk about this. My bold prediction this week. What did I say? I said, I have a feeling Diamador Lenore is going to be the guy that makes the big money ceiling interception. And he did. I said he's young. They're testing him. He's going to learn from those mistakes that he's had over the weeks, but he's played solid, and I know he was giving up a few plays here and there to DK. They're going to let him get those short plays. It's DK Metcalf. The guy was, in prime shape today. DK came out to play today. Shout out to DK, man. He gave everything he could. But Lenore, man, I knew it. I kept saying it during the game. I said, they're going to keep testing him. They're going to keep testing him. And eventually one's going to break his way and Lenore's going to make the play. And he did it, man. Everybody in the stands was like, oh, you called it. Because I saw it from a mile away. I was like, they're going to keep testing him. And Lenore's going to make him pay, man. And man, oh, man, he sure did. I was so happy. Like, I'm happy they won. Like, I'm happy of how everything played out. But honestly, my most favorite moment of today was when Lenore made that pick, because I was so happy. I was so happy for Lenore, second year player. This guy's been through so much. People crap on him. I said he's going to have this moment like Ambry Thomas, maybe not as big of a moment because that took him into the playoffs. But I said he's going to keep on getting tested, and eventually he's going to turn that around. And that's the play he needs. Mentally, he needed a big play like that. He's it, man. I loved it. I know the secondary kind of they gave up some big plays here and out, but hey, man, they did what they needed to do, and they made the big plays when they needed to make them. That's what they've done overall through this whole season, man. I love this team. Chris Higginson says Brock doesn't get phased when he gets sacked. He uses it as motivation and he stays on his feet. That's it, man. When he makes a mistake or a bad play, he bounces back quick. Like, he doesn't let it get to him mentally. Brock is unfazed, man, and that's the thing I like about him is he makes mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Athletes make mistakes. People are going to screw up. But if you let it hinder yourself, if you keep letting it internalize, if you keep on dwelling on it, you're just going to let it eat you up. But Brock says, okay, fuck it. We got to throw that around, throw it away, and keep cooking. And that's what he does, man. He makes a mistake. He makes a bad play. He just bounces right back, man. And he trusts himself. Kyle trusts him. It's incredible to watch, man. The guy's amazing. Aiden says this offense has been high scoring. I love it. It's fun, man. This offense is fun to watch. They've averaged 33.5 points, since CMC and Brock have been there, man. It's been fun. It's fun. Melanie says you called all of this. I tried to tell y'all this week, man. It's kind of like I knew the game plan or something, huh? I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything that I know, but yeah, I feel great. I mean, I'm happy with this team, and I just had this feeling. I said it's gonna be a rainy game. You got to control the ball. You got to run the ball. That's what the Niners did, and they got a young quarterback. Make it easy on him. Don't make anything difficult for him, and that's what the Niners did. They made it easy on Brock, and the defense is great. Eventually, as the game wears on, they're gonna wear you down. You're not gonna get the Niners defense tired. They're gonna tire you out, and they'll put you in good position, man. And that's what they do. The Niners put themselves in great field position. And they made Geno right back. So amazing game, man. Amazing games. Peter Rouse says Brock he says lice in his veins, but I think it's ice. He has ice in the veins, man. Zay says the offensive line looks slow in the first half. Definitely pick it up in the second half. Yeah, they did. I think they were pacing themselves. The 49ers definitely paced themselves in this game. As the game went on, they just looked better and better. And I think that's the Niners is they don't want to waste all their energy. They're a team they're so conditioned. Like, if you go back to training camp, if you remember when we were talking about training camp, and I remember I sat here, I was like, man, the Niners, they train too hard. They're physical. They beat each other up. They're going to get hurt. But I think that's why they do it. They train so hard. So when they get to this point in the game, they're like calloused. They're so hard pressed. Everybody else is not going to be able to outlast them. And the Niners can outlast anybody. It's tough. They train hard because these moments, man, you have to be hard fought. You have to have good conditioning. And players like Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, like, man, Christian McCaffrey and Nick Bosa are so conditioned. I was talking to somebody. Actually, I was talking to this guy on the VTA. He's a cool dude. And we were just talking, man, and, he said, this team is great. Why are they so good? And we were talking about how they're so conditioned. And we both said that how Nick Bosa, how he's just so chiseled, man, and he takes good care of his body, and he's so disciplined. That's what makes this team good. You have guys like Bosa and Christian McCaffrey that they take care of their bodies so much, man, because they want to be in peak position. When these games come on and the fourth quarter comes around, they're not tired. Everybody else is holding their hips. They're tired. These guys are just getting started. So it's a testament to how this team trains and prepares. It's phenomenal, man. And shout out to just everybody in this front office, and they've put together an amazing team, man. We got 5th-round stars, that step up, and late-round picks. It's not just the marquee players. Obviously, we need those guys. We need Debo. We need Kittle. We need those guys, Fred Warner, and all those marquee players. But we need those role players, man. And they stepped up to Sean Gibson, Charles Omenihu. Those are the guys that step up, man, and make big-time plays. Jawan Jennings. Those guys make plays that, that don't always come up on the stat sheet that you're like, man, if it wasn't for this play, if it wasn't for Charles Omenihu, if it wasn't for Diamond Lenore, you don't win the game. And it's amazing how this team has been built, man. Phenomenal. My man, Niner Gang Wolfcast in the building. What's up, baby boy? How's it going? S. Flood says, do you think the Seahawks created a blueprint to beat Brock by eliminating the crossing route? I honestly don't, man. I know the Seahawks probably studied the film. And this is interesting because the Seahawks, they're the first team to play Brock Purdy twice in a season. This is the only team that's seen him twice. They did take out some of his elements, and I'm sure they're going to have to run back to the film. But now there's more wrinkles. The Niners didn't really have Debo the last couple of weeks with Brock, and now they have Debo. And I think they dropped that element that people forgot, and that was the X factor. Right? There was Debo Samuel running those little the reverses. Seahawks did do a good job in the first half of kind of getting to Brock, getting pressure on him. They tried to eliminate some plays, but again, Brock's mobility, man, he can extend the plays, and he's going to make big plays eventually. We saw it again. That Brandon Ayuk incomplete pass, bro. He had him on a dime. He just has to catch the ball. Like, the Purdy is only going to get better. Like, he's going to realize, okay, if they're going to eliminate this, I know there's other reads out there. This guy just scans the field. He's 6-0. This guy's a rookie. He hasn't even played that many games in the NFL. He's going to get better. So I'm not too worried about it. I obviously think Seattle definitely played him pretty well in the first half because, again, they've had their eyes on him before. It's a division foe. Pete Carroll's a smart defensive coach. You got to give him credit. But, man, Brock, second half, he was cooking. Let me pull up his stats because I didn't get his stats up because and people were, it was funny because people were like, oh, Brock's terrible. He's terrible. Second half, man, he was just cooking it up, man. Ice in the vein, bro. He got so much swagger. He gets so hyped up, man. He gets so hyped up. Do I think we overpaid Debo? No. If you don't have Debo Samuel in the playoffs, you ain't winning this game today. This is the player that you need. You have playmakers. Debo Samuel, you see what he did today? That was the guy. He's a driving force. He made big plays. They didn't overpay him. He was hurt a little bit this season, but now they have so many weapons. It's just an amazing arsenal of players they have. They definitely didn't pay Debo over. They didn't overpay him. You got to remember, the market was crazy. If they lose Debo in the market, there's nobody on this team that would be able to do what Debo did this year and last year. I know Debo had a down year, but he still was pretty good. He was still a big focal point, and also he could be like a decoy. But today, Debo was cooking, man. Debo came to play today. It was absolutely incredible seeing him out there today. Let me pull up these stats today. Debo, so Brock Purdy, man, playoff debut, his first playoff game, he was 18 for 30. He had 332 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. He had 1 on the ground. That's crazy to me. 18 for 30, 332 touchdowns, 332 yards, and the dub. God, man, that's crazy. Like, they never, like, if you watch the 49ers in the playoffs years ago, they never passed that much. They 18 for 30. Are you kidding me? You remember the game against Minnesota in 2019? Eight attempts, 9 attempts, something like that. It was crazy. It was a very run-centric game against Green Bay Packers in 2019. The game plan was run. The 49ers still ran the ball a lot today, but they also threw the ball a lot. They have a pass game that can set up the run game, and they have a run game that can set up the pass game. It's dynamic, man. This offense is cooking. There's nothing like it right now. The Niners are playing so well. God, man. Unbelievable, man. Let's do a collab. Let's talk about it after, man. We got 2 tickets to give out to random supporters next week. Sounds good, man. We got to do it. We'll do something. We'll figure it out. Drew C says, Niners, what a game. Purdy, Shanny, D'Amico. Second half, they responded well. That's what they do, Drew. Second half, man. It's a second half team. I feel like people at this point, you have to realize, man, they've won 11 in a row. Second half, they cook. They cook in the second half. It's like it's a chess game, right? You know how we always say Kyle Shanahan's playing chess instead of checkers, right? He's always playing the chess. He's playing the mind game. He's feeling a team out in that first half, and they keep it kind of close. If they, second half, they know what they got to do, and they make those adjustments. D'Amico, too. Him and Kyle, man, they just make so many adjustments. And how many times have we seen this season during this 11-game run? When the second half comes out, it's a whole different team, man. They flip the script. They know what they do. Again, that first drive today after the halftime was just incredible. It was well orchestrated. Again, 12 plays, 75 yards. They just hummed down the field. I was like, wow, this is just a well-oiled machine. They got them, man. They could not be stopped. They're just too conditioned, man. They're just too conditioned. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to stop them as long as they stay healthy and they execute like they did today. It was an amazing game. They didn't really make too many mistakes. A few misplays here and there, but I did say one thing. I said Robbie Gould is going to be sparking up his leg a little bit today. He did get a few field goals today. It was good. They knocked the rust out of him. A few plays stalled in the red zone, but they were able to get a couple field goals. That was nice to see. Shout out to my boy Robbie. He played pretty well today. Good. We're going to need him at some point. He's going to need to make a clutch kick at some point, so it was good to knock off the rust on Robbie Gould today. So Alex says, Kinlaw has full control who's in front of him. Speaking of Kinlaw, but he needs to learn to go after the ball instead of tossing the guy. I noticed that too. Even last week, he had a play where he just tosses the guy. He ragdolls him. He's worried about annihilating someone off the line, ragdolling. He's got strength. He's got power. Obviously, Kinlaw is a massive dude. We know he can move, dude, but he's got to be more tactful. He's just trying to ragdoll people, but he needs to make more sound plays. Go after the ball. Go and tackle the guy. Don't just throw people around. Once he kind of learns that, to instead of trying to make this big saucy splash highlight, he just threw him all over the place, and control it and actually go after the ball. He's definitely. But again, you got to remember, Kinlaw hasn't played a lot. He's still developing. He's still a very young player that hasn't had a lot of experience, so he's still learning. But that's a guy that'll get better and stronger as long as he stays healthy. Thank God he's staying healthy right now. This D-line was pretty solid tonight. Arik Armstead working in the trenches, man. He was getting in it. He came through with the sack tonight. Again, this D-line was just ferocious. Towards the end of the game, they took over. Gino couldn't do anything. And again, like I said, Charles Menahu, that's a guy that I was really, really happy to see. So Hendrick says, this is where you make the money count, and Debo delivered. That's it. I couldn't have said it any better, Hendrick. 100%, man. I know a lot of people say, Debo didn't do much in the regular season. Sorry. He didn't do a lot in the regular season, but guess what he did tonight? He delivered, man. He earned his money tonight. He made the big time touchdown, and they pissed him off. You don't piss off Debo, man. He came to play today. Rice Goat says, Purdy silenced the critics. He sure did, and so did Diamaro Lenore, man. I love it. He kept all the receipts on everybody, and Lenore, man, that was an amazing moment. But this whole team just played their ass off, man, and it's incredible. We got 3 more games. Hopefully they can make them and win them. If the 49ers want to win a Super Bowl, we got 3 more dubs to get. A division game, then the championship game, NFC championship game, and then the Super Bowl, man. But again, it is one game at a time, but it feels incredible tonight. It's just a phenomenal win. Sweeping the Seahawks. It feels good to say that. It feels good to just live it. It feels good to be there. The game was amazing. It was raining to start the game, but Mother Nature gave us a treat. The rain stopped during the game. Sun came out. It was nice to see. And as soon as the game ended, it started pouring like crazy. When I was walking to the VTA line, it started dumping, man. I was like, God dang it. But hey, at least Mother Nature was nice enough to not rain during the game. It started raining leading up to the game, and I was like, uh-oh. But during the game, it was nice. There was no rain. It was nice. Mother Nature's treat. Shout out to Mother Nature. You held it down for us. It was nice not to have rain during the game. I had my poncho. I had it all set. Shout out to my boy Ken from 49ers Tailgate for giving me that poncho. I needed it. But, came in handy at the end of the game. But it was nice to not have rain during the game. It was clutch, man. It's clutch. It's clutch. S Flood says Seahawks trying to take Debo out by grabbing his ankles and twisting it. Yeah, that was ridiculous, man. We did talk about that. Jonathan Abram, again, that was a play that I was like, whoa, I can't believe, because that was the play I said that turned the game. So I was going to get some nachos, right? I come back to my seat right after halftime. I'm rushing. The first thing I see Debo zipping down the right sideline. I'm like, oh, Debo, everybody's going crazy. And then I see it again on the jumbotron, and you see Jonathan Abram twisting. I was like, what? Debo's like, what are you doing, my guy? Can you call the flag? And the crowd was just like livid. And people are texting me like, did you see what they did to Debo? And in my mind, I'm like, that's the last person you want to piss off. And they sure did piss off Debo, man. So who do I think we're playing next Saturday, Aiden? Oh, man. That's a good question. I think Tampa Bay is going to beat Dallas. Man, I keep wanting to think the Giants can pull this upset off, but I did already pick the Minnesota Vikings. So because I think I have the Vikings going to beat the Giants, it's going to be close, I think. But I have the Minnesota Vikings winning, and I have the 49ers playing the Vikings next week. That's my prediction. We'll see. John says Faithful today was yet again another great example of who Brock Purdy is and how he overcame pressure, nerves, and adversity. Very impressive. Brock Purdy is just he's got nothing to lose. Listen, Brock Purdy is a guy that has everything to gain. This guy's coming in with so much confidence. He was the last pick in the draft. Nobody expected him to be where he is today. The starting quarterback of the 49ers, who've won 11 games, the number 2 seed in the NFL, in the NFC. Nobody expected this. He's got house money. The better he plays, the more he plays, his future is brighter than the diamond. Like, he's sitting here and making the greatest story of all time. He's got nothing to lose. I mean, the pressure's starting to add up, obviously, because now all the accolades are coming. He hasn't lost the game. Everybody's like, oh, he's a rookie in the quarterback in the playoffs. A rookie's never won a Super Bowl. Like, it's kind of crazy. But at some point, everybody's like, hey, will it come to an end? I don't know. It's an amazing story. But again, he has nothing to lose, man. Last pick in the draft. It's amazing, man. He's Aiden says he's the kid in the candy store with unlimited money. He really is, man. He's playing with house money. He's got nothing to lose, and I absolutely love it. And he's such a humble kid, humble young man. He's just a humble young man. Like, everything he says is just so wholesome. He's 23 years old, man. Unbelievable. Yo, speaking of ages, birthdays, shout out Debo Slime, 19 problems. Tomorrow's his birthday. He's celebrating it, I bet, tonight with the dub, the touchdown. Debo, shout out to Debo, birthday tomorrow. I'm sure he's going to get hyped. I'm sure Debo's celebrating tonight. But man, oh man, shout out to Debo, man. It's been a hell of a season. It's been a hell of an off season for him starting. And, it culminated into a crazy season. He had some injuries. People have been doubting him, whatever the case is. I know he isn't like the top tier number one guy on our offense anymore, but he showed you, man. He's a playmaker, and you got to get him the ball. And I said it. I said Debo's going to take these playoffs, and he's going to make his money in these playoffs. And so far, so good, man. That touchdown, I was geeked up, man. I was so hyped when I saw it because I was supporting my boy Debo today. Wore the 19 jersey today, and I wore it last year in the first playoff game against Dallas. He said, give me the ball. And what do you do this year? Give me the ball. And I remember I said that this week. I said, remember when Debo last year in the playoffs, he told Shanahan, give me the ball. Give me the ball. And then right after the play, he scores and he tells Kyle, I told you so. Same thing this week, man. He put the ball in his hands and he delivered, man. That's a big-time player. Made his money tonight. Unbelievable. I was happy for Debo. And again, CMC, that's another guy that you're just like, man, you're just so happy to get him. You're just so happy to get Debo, to get CMC on this team. And he made it count. This is his first playoff run since his rookie season. He's the guy. He wants to show everybody that he's the guy. He's playing angry. He got snubbed in the Pro Bowl. They didn't put him in the All-Pro. He's playing pissed off. He's got something to prove, man. And CMC, every game from here on out, he's just like, you guys dropped the ball. You guys screwed the pooch, man. Unbelievable. CMC is just, again, he's buttery smooth, man. I love this guy. You get him the ball, and he takes like a 2-yard play and just cuts it up. Doing 20 yards later, 30 yards later, it's incredible the way he cuts on the field. Man, CMC, Kay Adams the other day, she said that he was the best midseason addition in NFL history. He's making it look so true. It's incredible, man. It's incredible. Showboat says LeBron sees that talent in Purdy. I bet you LeBron saw that coming, right? LeBron knew he was going to be undefeated after today. That was funny. Yo, that's pretty dope, though. You know, jokes aside, for LeBron James to tweet out Brock Purdy today, that was dope, bro. That was cool because LeBron's one of the biggest sports icons of all time. And he's the NBA legend, man. Like, the guy's a monster. LeBron's he's been in the league for many years, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Put some respect on Brock Purdy. That was cool to see, man. That was dope. So shout out, man. That was cool. Brock Purdy, undrafted, the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick. Nobody expected him to be here, and he's getting tweeted out by LeBron James. Like, what an incredible story. When they make a movie of Brock Purdy, y'all better get your popcorn ready. This is the greatest underdog story of all time right now. It's turning out to be. I mean, Kurt Warner was, but right now Brock Purdy might become the greatest underdog story of all time. LeBron James tweeting out Brock Purdy, man. That was cool, man. Tommy says LeBron's about to draft Purdy to the Lakers. He might be calling him, yo, Brock, you want to play point guard for the Lakers? We need one. Man, this is so cool. It's so cool, man. Jimmy K says if they win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, they need to give him the biggest check of his life for a bonus, whatever, man. If the Niners win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, this boy's set for life. It's crazy to me. If the 49ers win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, he's going to be the first rookie quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl. That's crazy. Did you see how crazy that's crazy to me, man? That's absolutely amazing, man. Shout out to Brock Purdy. It's just incredible. The story. Every week, something amazing happens. It's just like, man, 4 touchdowns today. God, he was throwing ropes out there. You know, when he scrambled, one of my favorite plays, obviously the incomplete pass that never was, that was amazing. But there was another play. He breaks to the left. He's running. Play breaks. He scrambles. He gets a first down. Bro was high stepping. He was high stepping, and everybody was like, yo, is that Dion? I was like, let's go, man. Brock Purdy was high stepping. So dope. That play was cool to me. Oh, man. Gig Galaxy says no turnovers, 41 points in a first playoff game for a rookie. Impressive no matter who your team is, dude. 100% Gig. No turnovers, 41 points. It definitely was an impressive game today. So, oh, man. Eric Klaus says if we win the bowl, what happens to Lance? You know, obviously that's something that's a couple weeks down the line. You can't really think about it. But if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, man, he's your starting quarterback. And the way he's playing, the way he's going at it and just developing, he's your starting quarterback. And it's no disrespect to Lance. There's definitely going to be a competition. But Lance is coming off an injury, and it doesn't hurt to have 2 young quarterbacks, with one of them being a backup, you know. The Niners have proved this year you need to have depth at all positions, even the quarterback position, man. And they did. They had 3 good quarterbacks this year that were able to start. If they didn't do that this year, they would be – imagine where we'd be with Josh Johnson or Nate Sudfeld. They got 2 young quarterbacks that are going to be on rookie quarterback contracts, and they got a lot of people to pay. So I think that's the way it goes. If Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, I mean, it would be hard for me not to start him. I don't know. Again, I know the Eagles did this a couple years back. They had Carson Wentz, and Nick Foles won the Super Bowl when Carson Wentz went down. They put Wentz back in. I don't know, man. Brock Purdy's got the starts. He's got the experience. He's cooking. It would be hard for me to see them take him away from this team. But no disrespect to anybody. Again, Trey, he needs the development. He's young. You know, he hasn't really played a lot of football compared to Brock, man. And Brock is, again, if he wins the Super Bowl, man, it's hard to imagine they take him away. So, I don't know. Maybe he would ask for a trade, right, John? John says, I'm sorry, I don't see Trey sticking around. He would ask for a trade. It's possible. He might. He would. You never know. Again, that's the offseason stuff, and that's a while away. it's going to be an interesting offseason no matter what happens, and I know it is. But right now, we need to focus 1 week at a time. We got a divisional game coming up next week, and you can't focus on that stuff. It's definitely stuff that's in the back of our minds, and we know that in a couple weeks, in a month or so, we're going to be talking about it. But right now, we got eyes on the prize, man. Super Bowl is the first step right now. So, Val Ramos says, if Trey is smart, like they say he is, he'll stick around. I agree with that. I think he should stick around. I mean, mentally, for his ego, or whatever the case is, like, it would be tough to be a backup. And of course, you want to go somewhere and prove yourself. But maybe the 49ers can say, hey, look, we need 2 quarterbacks, man. We need 2 quarterbacks. Because, again, this season, we're on a 3rd quarterback. It's crazy to me. You remember all those years with Jimmy Garoppolo, when he would get hurt, our backups couldn't do what they needed to do to win games. They couldn't win with CJ Beathard. They couldn't win with Nick Mullins. They couldn't win with the backup. That's why they went and got a quarterback. And then they got another insurance policy in Brock, and now it's coming to fruition again. It's crazy, man. Whew. Drew says, if Brock wins us a ring, we've been searching for since the 90s. I'm riding with Brock no matter what. I don't care. Been waiting to see a Super Bowl all my life, bro. You're probably, every fan will probably agree with you, Drew, that if the 49ers win a Super Bowl and Brock Purdy is the quarterback, he's the guy. He's the guy. We've been waiting for a Super Bowl. The last time this team won a Super Bowl, I was 10 years old. It's a long time. Peter Rouse says, right now it's Victory Sunday. It is Victory Saturday, but tomorrow is Victory Sunday. Oh, depending on where you live. Right now it's still West Coast. It's Victory Saturday for me. 49ers throwback. What's up, my boy? He says pass rush needs improvement. I feel like they were getting stronger as the game went by. And you got to remember, I think that Geno had some mobility, and I think that's a trait that the 49ers still struggle against. But for the most part, I think the Niners pass rush wasn't horrible. Definitely could be better. It definitely could be better, 100%. But, Geno, he was out there doing his thing, mobile enough in the first half. But I think they can improve. It wasn't horrible. Charles Omenihu was he was nice tonight. Charles Omenihu was really good with it. They were doing their best to chip away Bosa. They tried to make him non-existent. But I'll tell you what, Nick Bosa, although he didn't have a lot of sacks in this game or pass rush stats, he was killing the run game. I don't know if you guys watched it, but every time I saw Bosa come in, he was always getting at the running back. He was showing how you stop the run from the edge position, from the defensive edge position. Nick Bosa was coming in, and he was killing the run game, man. I watched that. Watch him set the edge. If you go back when you watch the film this week, Nick Bosa was impressive in the run game, run defense. So I saw that. That was nice. I was like, man, Bosa's putting in work in there. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. Tobias says, do you think the Eagles can beat the Eagles with the mobile quarterback? I think so. I think it'll be a tough game. Jalen's a good quarterback. I got respect for the guy, but his shoulder, to me, that's the impact. That's the X factor. If Jalen Hurts' shoulder is not good, I tell you what, man, his shoulder is going to be a factor because he might have to step back in the pocket. He may not want to run and take hits on that shoulder. So I could see us having some problems, obviously, early on, but I think the Niners will do enough to beat Jalen Hurts. I'm not worried about him. But again, 1 week at a time, man. 1 week at a time. We got to worry about next week. Whew. 49ers experience took over in the fourth quarter, Showboat. Yes. They did. You remember we talked about that this week. The 49ers are a veteran-savvy team compared to the Seahawks. The Seahawks were a ragtag team, a lot of youngsters, rookies. You had Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant, Kenneth Walker. Much respect. They got a good young team. They're going to be good for a while in this league. They got good young players, but they're inexperienced. The 49ers, you got players like Tashawn Gibson, Jimmy Ward, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. These guys, Trent Williams. They've been in this for many years. They know what it takes. They've been close, but no cigar. And we said it all week. They're hungry, and their experience is going to carry them a long way. That's huge, man. I agree. That's a great comment. Showboat. Absolutely, experience took over. I love that comment, man. Shout out to you, my boy. Drew says, if we play Minnesota, I can see the Eagles losing to Tampa or Dallas. It's possible. Dallas could beat Philly. It's just going to be tough because whoever wins that game against Tampa Bay and Dallas, they're going to be on a short week because they play Monday night. So if Dallas plays the Eagles, they're a little bit of a disadvantage playing Monday night. But hey, it's the playoffs, man. You got to roll up. You got to suit up no matter what. So definitely it's possible that the Eagles can lose to one of those teams. So Alejandro says if the Eagles get eliminated, the Niners won't have any competition in the NFC. Oh, dude, if the Eagles get eliminated, the 49ers host the NFC Championship game at Levi's. Are you kidding me? Man, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I would love to see it. I hope we can host the playoff game at Levi's. But hey, if we got to travel out to Philly, so be it, baby boy. JR3 says fans need to put respect on Lenore. I tried to tell him, JR. I tried to tell him all week. He's a youngster. He's a young player. He's gonna have his ups and downs. He's not perfect. It's like people expect a cornerback to get a PBU or a pick on every play. Cornerbacks are going to give up yards. They're going to give up plays sometimes. Wide receivers are good. These DK Metcalf's a dog. Deontay Lenore made the play of the game that he needed to make. He made the big play. And it's silly because I see people commenting, oh, he only made one interception. He's playing good coverage, man, all game. You're going to let him have the little small stuff. You can let him bend, but don't break. Did he give up a big play? Did he give up a massive touchdown? Did he give up like a huge play? No, he didn't. Shout out to my boy Demo, man. I was happy. Again, that was my favorite moment of the game. When Lenore went off, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, I was going crazy. Everybody around me was like, bro, you called it. I told you, man. It was funny, man. Beast Mode says, am I going to next week's game? We'll see. Probably. I went to this week's game last minute. I'll probably go to the next week's game last minute. I have my daughter next week, so I'm not sure. I got to see if I can get 2 tickets, or if she doesn't go, I got to see if her mom can watch her. So I'm not sure yet, but I definitely plan on going if I'm able to. So I'm not too sure yet. So Kai says Purdy should have had 5 touchdowns. Ayuk needs to catch it. It was so close to it. But hey, Ayuk says he owes him a tutty. Don't worry about it. They're gonna make up for that. But hey, we still dog walked them. 41. The Niners put up 41 points today, man. Can you imagine this team putting up 41? If I would have told you in August that the 49ers would have put up 41 points in a playoff game, would you have believed me? Hell no, you wouldn't. You never would have believed me. Oh man, that was amazing. Mahomes-ish, yo, gig. If Patrick Mahomes makes a play like that, the NFL is going wild about it. They better give Brock Purdy that energy this week. But man, if he would have made that touchdown pass, that's the play of the week. It's the play of the year. Lauro says it will be known as the non-catch. Yo, I swear to you, that was the best incomplete pass I've ever seen in my life. Man. Oh man. It was amazing, dude. I would have laughed out loud too. I'm telling you. It was funny. It was classic. Oh man, I'm just so excited. I don't know. How you guys feeling tonight? What do you guys think? How you feeling, baby? How we feeling tonight? Are we feeling good tonight? I'm feeling great. Dub, man. Dub. A victory. A dub. That's it. Against the Seahawks, man. 3-0. Russell says, give Purdy his Rookie of the Year award now. Give it to him, man. Give it to him. He should win Rookie of the Year. Drew says the vibes are great. The vibes are immaculate. Manny says, I'm impressed with Brock. I am too, man. I'm so impressed with Brock. Like, it's just crazy. Last pick in the NFL draft, man. Jesus. Eric says, yo, out here in Colorado, we showed out the 719ers Club. Yo, shout out to my boy Eric. Good for you, man. Good. Keep repping, man. Everybody, every Niner fan, keep repping, man. Everybody's showing up and showing out. I love it. I love to hear it. I love to see it, man. John says, I feel so positive. I have 0 reservations. I think we all are right now. We're all on a high right now. This was a phenomenal victory. It just was a phenomenal victory. Kai says, is this what it feels like to have a baller at quarterback? I feel this has to be it because we haven't experienced, like, us sitting here at the end of the game just so hyped up on a quarterback. We haven't been talking about a quarterback for a long time like this. It's amazing. When I was a kid and I remember seeing Steve Young and Joe, I don't remember. I wasn't as, in this mindset as I am now. Like, I just was like, oh my God, Steve Young's amazing. He's my favorite player. He's my idol. But you see it in a different lens when you're younger. Now, you're just like, oh my God, this guy's so good. It's amazing, man. I feel like a kid sometimes watching Brock Purdy, man. He's so good. John says the offense is finally carrying the team. Yeah, and that's what it's amazing is you have 2 sides of the ball that can carry on any given Sunday. The defense doesn't have to get tired. They know they can rely on the offense, and they can make the plays they have to make. in the game, like big game-changing plays. And they know the offense is going to deliver for them. And that's huge. When the offense, doesn't have to get carried all game, which we've seen in the past, it makes a big difference. And now the offense has confidence. And that gives the defense confidence. They're like, yo, we don't want them to carry us. We want to help them out too. And then the offense is like, we want to help the defense out. They're struggling a little bit. Let us go out there, put the ball in the box, and get the touchdown. So both sides of the ball are playing amazing. It's a well-balanced team, and it's dangerous. This is a great team, man. This team from top to bottom, all 53 players on the roster, amazing, man. Kai says, I truly believe that fumble won us the game. That was the game change. That was probably the biggest game-changing play in the second half, because after that, I feel like we broke Seattle. Like, they couldn't do anything. That play was massive because it was a third down. And I remember I was like, okay, it's this big third down. Seattle kind of was still hanging around. After that, it broke the floodgates open, and Geno was not the same after that play. I agree. That was probably the biggest play on defense of the whole game. My big play, again, was the Debo play where he got his ankle twisted, because I think mentally the team was like, all right, we're pissed. You cannot do that to our star Debo. And it put Debo in the mindset of, all right, bro, bet. I'm coming for blood. So to me, that was my big play. But overall, in general, the strip sack fumble by Omenahu was definitely the game changer, man. That was fucking phenomenal. I don't know. I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions. I'm going to bounce out real quick, get some grub in my tummy. We'll go live on Instagram later. Finish this Jaguars game. Couple things. Who are your guys' unsung hero? Who do you guys think who gets the game ball? Let me know. What do you guys think? Who's the star of the game? Who is the number one star on offense, defense? Who's the unsung hero? You let me know, and then we'll talk about it. Eric says the pick that kept it going. That pick was huge, man. JJ had a few clutch third down plays. JJ always does, man. JJ was big. He definitely was an unsung hero. That was the makeup for his missed sack. I agree, Eric. Purdy was the best player on offense today, says Kai. Definitely can argue that. He was amazing, man. First quarterback as a rookie to have 4 touchdowns in a playoff game. Undefeated. The guy was money, ice in the veins. CMC got Russ, says BCB. Eric Martinez says, let's see. Trent had a great game. That was unsung. Drew, that's a good question. That's a good comment. Trent Williams definitely had a good game. People didn't talk about him enough, but the blocking in the second half was phenomenal. CMC did great. And when CMC does great and Debo has a big run, big plays, it's usually because Trent's blocking well. I agree. I saw it. Left side, he was blocking phenomenal. Definitely an unsung hero. I like it. Jimmy K says, got to give it to Purdy. Purdy, you got to give it to Purdy, right? You got to give it, baby. Purdy was cooking, man. Showboat says CMC. I definitely think he's definitely one of the stars of this game. As the game started, man, it was all CMC. They couldn't stop him, man. And that was, I feel like, they had to get him the ball early, because initially that first drive was like, what are you doing? A couple drives was like stalling, but once they put the ball in CMC's hands, it was just, whoo, tutty, game, tutty. Like he kind of set the pace. He set the pace for this. He was the pace car for this team. Fernando says Brock. Uzi God says Purdy. Alejandro says once the offense took control of the clock in the third quarter, the game was ours. I agree. We took that's it. We ball control, man. That's what we do, and that's exactly what we thought was going to happen, right? Purdy or CMC on the offense. Aiden says it's crazy, bro. I followed you since 2019 when we went crazy that season and went to the bowl, and now we're back. Let's go, baby. Hey, appreciate the support, man. I appreciate you following me for all these years, man. Nothing but love. Eric, BA, the line. Purdy has as many touchdowns as Jimmy does his entire playoff career, says Kai. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. This is Brock Purdy's first playoff game, and he has as many touchdowns as Jimmy does. That's crazy. That's the stat of the year. Is that for? Oh my God. That's the stat of the year. That's the stat of a lifetime. Are you crazy? That's crazy. Drew says unsung means someone most people aren't talking about. CMC, Debo, Brock were very sung. Yeah, I think that, remember I asked who's like the star? I think those are the guys that they said is the star. But the unsung hero, I think someone said Trent Williams. Definitely. I feel Diamador Lenore had a phenomenal game. Unsung hero, made a big time play. Charles Omenahu was a guy that I feel stepped up really big. And, he had a nice game. But Trent Williams, I like that one. That was good. Kittle, Debo, man. Fun game. He did good. S. Flood says, game ball goes to Kyle and D'Amico for the second half adjustments. Bro, we can't praise them enough. That was amazing. They made great adjustments. I agree. Love it. Oh, man. D-line Unsung says, got rust. They played really good in that second half. They really started imposing their will. I like it. Chris Higginson's love from the UK. Niners fans since 2011. Always loved San Francisco. So stoked to finally have another opportunity to see a Super Bowl win. I hope so, man. I hope we keep rushing towards that goal, man. That's it. Got to get that 6. Appreciate you, Chris. UK all the way, man. Shout out to the UK Niners, man. Russell says, Charles Menahu. Definitely, man. He was a big-time baller today. Shout out, man. But yeah, good stuff, man. Don't forget to hit that like button. Lupe says, appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to call it a night on YouTube, but we're going to post more stuff on Instagram. I need to take a little rest. Appreciate you. If I saw you at the game, I'd love to see you. If I go to another game, say what's up to you, boy, if you see me. Good stuff. Great game. Fans that showed up to the game, shout out to you guys. It was an amazing, amazing experience. It was wet. It was crazy. But people, man, y'all was great in the stands. The Niner fans, you guys are amazing. Even if you didn't go to the game, I know you guys were there in spirit. It is what it is. Just because you don't go to the game doesn't mean you're not a fan. I love it. I hate when people say, oh, you don't go to the game, you're not a fan. Hey, man, some people can't always make it to the game. So that's why we go there, to give you the coverage, to shout out and be hyped for everybody that can't make it to the game. So love all the fans. I love the support. Thank you so much. Let's keep it rolling. We got 3 more games. Hopefully we get a rest. Tomorrow, we get to watch everybody else play. I love it, man. Victory Sunday tomorrow is Victory Saturday tonight. Niners on top, 3-0 against the Seahawks tonight. We've swept the NFC West the entire year, baby. 7-0 against the NFC West. Let's go, baby. I love you guys so much. Appreciate you. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go, Niners.